say it's mine.
What about loyalty?
All for one.
And one for all.
There are stories about every hero, how they became great. Most have one thing in common. Their bodies moved before they had a chance to think. Almost on their own. Young man, you too can become a hero.
I'ma give you a little lesson.
So, it's finally over, huh? Well, I guess this gives me an excuse to talk about Japanese cartoons again, you know.
As I do so well.
So I need you to understand something before we start. I have been talking shit about this show in my head for years. And I've also been low-key in love with it the entire time. My Hero Academia might be the most frustrating anime I've ever loved, ever since it dropped in the greatest year of all time, 2016. A year of peak everything. Peak music, peak sports, peak TV, peak movies.
I think I miss
Kimi no Nawa.
Peak personal experiences. If every year could be like 2016, there would be no more depression, no more world hunger. Everything would be good forever. And in the middle of all that, we got peak anime as well. And I would say at the top of that has to go in the setup of the form of My Hero Academia Season 1. Now on paper, My Hero Academia as a series should be one of the greatest anime of all time. And to a lot of people, it probably is.
Not me.
A fully realized hero society, a crazy detailed power system, generational trauma, one of the best villain groups ever written, and somehow the anime still manages to look like a Saturday morning cartoon during a literal war arc.
And look at this nigga!
And to a lot of people, it's to its detriment. You will see throughout this video how much this pisses me off to no end. My Hero Academia is also a pretty predictable show, because nigga, of course it is. But that's not the insult people think it is. My Hero is a shonen. Shonen stories run off mythic patterns. The Chosen One, the Dead Mentor, the evil mirror foil character, power evolutions. Horikoshi, the author of My Hero, is openly obsessed with American comics, Star Wars. This man loves America so much, he literally made All Might into a US branding blonde Air Force mommy just to kill her off in 2 episodes.
No, but why do some of the baddest bitches be in the army or like in the Navy or like in the military and shit? Like, what is you pretty ass bitches doing with all them big ass guns?
We shouldn't be worrying about wondering is it unpredictable, but worrying about when the obvious things do happen in the story. Does it still hit? Does it work? Chainsaw Man is predictable. Demon Slayer, oh, that shit's hella predictable. A lot of great stories are. Not every show is built to shock you. Some are built to resonate. In My Hero, it does a little bit of both. Which is why it ending is actually a really big deal to me. So today, I want to do what I probably should have done back in season 4 when everybody started turning on the show. Don't look at me like that. I remember all of you. I saw it all. I was there. Don't hide now. Come into the light, buddy. I see you. We have the Golden Age, which I would say was like season 1 through 3, when this felt like a real generational classic in the making. We have a small fall off, which I would say was between seasons 4 and 5, when a big chunk of the fan base quietly dipped for various reasons.
RDC World is a group of legends, bro. We ain't never going to deny that. But now that My Hero Academia is fully over with, and I feel like the general public has finally started to realize how good of an anime that shit really was, bro, I feel like we need to really look back and have a conversation about RDC World's impact on the public's perception of My Hero Academia, bro.
So, bro, My Hero, y'all should be ashamed because All Might vs. Noma should not still be one of y'all best fights.
That's like, bro, that's like the first 12 episodes.
Because, bro, like they had a lot more chances to show other heroes fighting just as hard as All Might, and they can't. The first 2 seasons made us want to keep watching for sure. Yeah. But then the fights after that was all lackluster. Like, yeah, Shoto versus Midoriya, they fought, but why they make every other fight in that tournament trash?
They literally skipped. They were fucking going through 3 matches in episodes. Yeah, that was. What the fuck are y'all doing?
Like, that's dumb, bro. I'm not walking up to no nigga and saying, bro, like, hey, bro, watch My Hero because Yeah, you gotta see that nigga, bro. He went 100%. That they get to that part, they're gonna say, bro, I seen way other cleaner shit than that.
And we have the comeback seasons, which I would say were season 6 through 8. We're gonna be going into why I think the anime adaptation actively holds the story back compared to, you know, the source material. We're going to talk about a lot of the characters in the world building, and considering this is probably going to be the last video of the year before another big video I have planning right after this, get ready for this long rant / therapy session for myself. Let us talk about the miracle and the mess that is My Hero Academia.
Destroy it all!
Young Midoriya, I think we're gonna have to kill this guy.
Damn.
When My Hero first dropped, I was in high school, living off of 2K and Fortnite with the homies like they were antidepressants. We were in that era where every new shonen protagonist was either like already cracked from episode 1 or just walking around with 10 layers of trauma caked up. I didn't mean it like that. Then this little green nerd shows up, crying every other episode, getting told by a doctor in the first episode that in a world full of superpowers, he has nothing. And the wildest part is, knowing what we know now, that the doctor wasn't even some like random pedestrian, bro is literally All For One's, the main villain's right hand man, casually moonlighting as a family doctor. And it just made me think about like, so is this like your day job, or what do you actually do here? Horikoshi had this man in like 2 shots in episode 1, and 6 seasons later, he's suddenly one of the biggest problems in the story. On rewatch, the foreshadowing is actually pretty insane. The premise itself of My Hero is simple. It's been done before, but still effective. 80% of the world have superpowers. Society is built on heroes, rankings, and brandable trauma. Everything an American teenager lives off of. And of course you have to have the one powerless kid, underdog story, refusing to accept being a background NPC in this type of story.
I'm extremely confused.
You're confused, I'm fucking confused, bro.
So when All Might, the greatest hero in the world, finally tells Midoriya what he's been wanting to hear his whole life, that you too can be a hero, I genuinely feel like that scene rewired the generation.
Y'all remember Deku when he got accepted to UA? Why this man was in the alleyway with All Might? He was like this. I'm like, bro, chill out. Why are you acting like that?
Now you guys know me. If you've been following me for a little while, I love cynicism, I love some nihilism, but I'm also a hopeless dreamer. And that scene right there, that still gets me. I remember showing that clip to one of my boys at lunch, and that's how he really got into the show himself and anime in general. It has that cookie cutter, yeah bro, you too can be the main character type of energy that we used to get from old school shonen that low-key has become like sort of a dying art.
We're losing recipes.
Now half of our new protagonists are just nonchalant aura farmers, but I guess we had that too back then, so fuck it. Then the world building kicks in. We got hero license, internships, support items, rankings, agencies, merchandising. Japan is a fully built hero economy, and the best hero school in the country is at the full center of it. With this world that My Hero presents, you can fall down so many damn rabbit holes just thinking about how the society actually works. Shit, I mean, Horikoshi literally made a whole vigilante spin-off just to explore the street level side of his own world. It's honestly one of the most fully realized superhero settings in anime, and Horikoshi spares nothing when it comes to the detail of it all. Sometimes I think he spends too much damn detail on this shit, and not enough on certain main characters, but we'll get there. For the first few seasons, the manga and anime match tonally, bright, hopeful, comic book colorful, kind of goofy, but with real stakes to make you truly immerse yourself into the world. The show really understands that part of the appeal is watching a kid willingly break his bones for his dream. Midoriya needing to unlock the lean, toned muscle build just to even hold the superpower that was being passed down to him was such a cool way to do this type of underdog story, because he then uses his power to blow off his limbs for at least 2 seasons because he can't use it properly.
His fingers. He broke them in order to stop Shinso.
Look at his eyes!
And to me, personally, it's still some of the best I will destroy myself to save people type of heroism we've ever gotten. That's why I love that Midoriya is up there with fucking Clark Kent, Batman, and Spider-Man for main characters that embody heroism to a T. And I completely agree with that. Early My Hero Academia felt like a marathon, like we were in it for the long haul. And then somewhere after season 3 for me, and I feel like a lot of people, the anime started sprinting and tripping over its damn feet. So let's get the petty shit out the way. I'm about to get not so nice.
No more, Mr. Nice Guy. I found a new style.
I nitpick this anime so hard for a very good reason. Because I love it. You can see the masterpiece sitting right there, and the adaptation keeps getting in its own way. Studio Bones was handed the story to get it animated, and I'd have to say,
so we just have to watch this?
Well,
for a large part of the show, they did not understand the assignment. There is a clear vibe mismatch for a variety of different reasons. Japan is in a state of anarchy at some point in time during the show. People are dying, buildings are crumbling. Shigaraki, the main villain of the series, is doing the craziest amounts of body horror that would make Jujutsu Kaisen proud. Meanwhile, we have this big, bright, goofy ass guy staring right back at us. You guys don't understand how funny it is to see people so upset about this bright, goofy ass guy, feeling like it's taking away from the dire stakes that's happening. We're going through little war arcs, and half the time it looks like it's just happening on like a cool little nice Saturday afternoon.
Animators, especially younger artists, are often overworked and underpaid, and anime studios are regularly accused of exploiting their employees. Last year, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 once again highlighted MAPPA's poor working conditions. Kawamoto said, "I know that there is a lot of writing on the internet about the difficult conditions. In my opinion, those who often complain loudly are those who are not yet good enough. If they improved their skills, they would also have more time for their tasks and would earn more money. But this is really my own personal opinion, independent of Studio Bones."
If this story had even a fraction of JJK's or Chainsaw Man's gritty sauce, noir visual direction, harsher shadows, dirty textures, a color palette that isn't allergic to contrast, so many scenes would hit 10 times harder, and I'm 10 toes down on that.
Why you boring me? I'm right.
Todoroki's family trauma, dark as hell on paper. Shigaraki's origin, actually horrifying, but the show's visual language stays toy aisle friendly. And we gotta sell those toys, man. We gotta sell those fucking toys. One of my core issues with the adaptation is how clean everybody looks. Manga Deku, at some point in time during the show, starts looking feral. Chapped lips, eye bags, busted hands, real texture put into his cape. And they're trying with anime Deku, but the show really doesn't tend itself to looking that dirty. It still really looks very, very polished. These kids bleed, they get their hands chopped off, they get mutilated. Studio Bones isn't doing a terrible job. And I feel so bad saying that, because to say that Japanese key animators should be doing a better job has to be the most out of touch thing that an anime fan can say. And I understand that. You guys can shit on me for that. Because then we have the tonal whiplash of the show itself. We'll be in the middle of a life or death operation, people getting mutilated, and someone, if you will crack the equivalent to what I would say as a Marvel level quit in the middle of high intensity action.
Daddy! Stop wobbling so much! I'm still getting the hang of flying! I'm barely hanging on right now!
Endure your phone check. And if I may ask a favor, please keep your rear end still. It's flustering me.
You idiot!
Are you serious?
Pro heroes are about to die, and the show refuses to sit in silence for more than 5 seconds without a gag, a flashback, or any type of respect for the viewer to understand what's going on without having it blatantly told to them. And I feel like I'm a broken record with this because as far as I've been studying the anime industry, they can be used well at some instances, they can be used very poorly, and don't get me started on the censorship. Manga Shigaraki is doing some of the most horrendous stuff I've seen on a page. Broken jaws, fried flesh horror panels, just disgusting stuff. And anime Shigaraki just isn't giving that same vibe. He's just not doing it for me. They took literal horror scenes in my mind while reading the manga and PG-13ified it. And usually for my videos, I review animes where I haven't read the source material, but for this one, in preparation for it, I decided to read a little bit of the source material from beginning to end, just to compare and contrast my feelings. And oh my god, this motherfucker Horikoshi is disgusting with the illustrations. Kohei Horikoshi has to be one of my favorite mangakas as far as his art goes of all time. I love the way he draws his characters. So I will be that pretentious fan on the soapbox to say that the sauce that's displayed in the source material is not being represented properly inside its adaptation.
I want more. And I know I shouldn't.
And all of this would already be frustrating on its own, but then we get the timeline of My Hero Academia, and that's where it becomes actually insane for me. If you don't know, the entire 8-season saga of My Hero Academia, both wars, Vigilante Deku, the collapse of Hero Society as we know, a traitor within our midst, Todoroki's family drama, all of it happens in one school year.
What?
My Hero having Naruto level emotional weight compressed into a freshman year of high school is fucking insane to me. Now I think no story should be as long as Naruto, most times out of not, but My Hero is where I would argue they deserve that level of longevity. I love how you see like season 1 versus season 8 side by side comparisons to the characters from then and now, and they look exactly the same.
They're the same picture.
And my brain just starts rejecting the scale of the story, because my main complaint is that the characters don't feel like they're aging, because they're not. They're just suffering a whole lot more in a short period of time. And that to me, and I feel like for a large part of the fan base, the show started to feel a little bit redundant. It's almost like the Stranger Things effect, except this is animated. It's not like this cast of teenagers was aging too fast, so you needed to rush the story a little bit. The core story of My Hero Academia is not bad at all. On paper, it's actually pretty tight. But the anime stretches one school year across 8 seasons, shoves in 3 movies in between, and tries to keep up with year by year hype so people can still feel faithful to the story. Now I know fans speculate that Horikoshi was pressured by yada yada to rush the ending, but the truth is there's no really confirmed evidence that My Hero Academia's manga was forced to rush its ending. To me, and the information that's presented online is that what really happened is that Horikoshi's, just like every manga author I know, had their health collapse during the final act of their story, and the story had to be compressed around his own limitations. He originally planned to end the manga much earlier, and openly said multiple times that he wanted to wrap things up within a year, and once he finally committed to that finish line, the pacing sort of tightened, arcs kind of got shorter, character payoffs got slimmer, and the entire endgame stayed locked inside the kid's freshman year instead of spanning their full hero education, like, you know, the title My Hero Academia would make you think. That's why it feels like the series jumps from welcome to UA to here's the final war arc, we're about to wrap this shit up. It's not because the editors or any higher up probably rushed the ending, but because Horikoshi's health and creative exhaustion pushed the story to wrap sooner than its world building originally implied it for. And I would say that the fan base and even myself isn't crazy for feeling the pacing whiplash that My Hero presents. The most realistic explanation is that the author simply did not have enough juice in the tank to finish the story at the scale he once imagined.
It's just hard. I'm tired of suffering. I'm tired of suffering.
So for a story that feels like it needed Naruto's runtime feels like it needed a time skip, but instead basically got shoved into 2 years of all of the characters' education, is pretty unfortunate. And the craziest thing about all of this, honestly, is that this didn't ruin My Hero Academia for me. It's annoying. Production pressure, pacing, tonal choices, visual choices, health stuff, all of it working against what Horikoshi clearly wanted to do. And that's probably why after the ending came out, bro kept releasing a bunch of different chapters trying to give more background to the ending that he came up with. That's why I keep saying the show didn't just need stronger fight animation or tighter pacing. What it desperately needed was a time skip. Not for power levels, but to make people feel like they were growing with this story. We needed it for immersion, for every high schooler that got into the show back in 2016. And now look, I know character talk is my thing. I could easily yap another 40 minutes just on characters, but for this video, I'm keeping it a little tighter this time. Dare I say, efficient yaps. So that's it, y'all. All of my feelings about Boku no Hero Academia. I want to start ranking shit, you know, like every fucking YouTuber does. And we're going to start by ranking every single My Hero Academia opening. Number 13, Takatame. Season 7's first opening, way too somber for me for an arc that's supposed to be hype. This opening's supposed to hype me the fuck up, and I understand the drier nature of the visuals. I just don't love the song, honestly. Number 12, Star Maker. This is a cool song, but it's pretty self-explanatory why this shit is here. This feels like the most filler arc opening to a canon part of the story I have ever seen. Number 11, Sorani. Despite me not hating the song, there are spoilers in this intro that I do not like. I don't like that we get to see Deku using full cowling for the first time inside this opening. That's a no-go for me. Number 10, Make My Story. The song and the visuals are okay in this one, but what can you do for an arc about getting your superhero license that's very interesting? Number 9, Numero Uno. The climax of this song saves its placement, but the visuals are some hot ass. It's just a lot of panning with the characters feeling slightly off model somehow. It's mainly the visuals for me. Don't like it. Number 8, Curtain Call. As the last opening of the series, it does its job well. It shows all the parallels, all the foils with a cool little upbeat song. I think this is a good placement. Number 7, The Day. The first opening of My Hero Academia. I don't hate this opening. I just think I've heard it too many times, but it is undoubtedly still a classic. Number 6, in my opinion, the perfect song for this arc, Point Blank. Number 5, Give Me Polaris. I used to play this over and over when it first came out. I used to play it in English covers, the regular Japanese, every different cover imaginable, and I never got sick of it. The visuals are a bit meh, but we'll give them a pass because this guitar solo fucking rips. Number 4, Hitamuki. This for the visuals alone. Them finally going with a complete comic book style for the opening is so damn cool, honestly. I honestly wish all the openings looked like this. This is where it got really hard for me. I really had to go and sit here for like a good minute thinking about this, but in the end, I decided the pussy answer. I can't decide. Merry-Go-Round, Peace Sign, and Odd Future all slapped to me in equal amount. They have the same level of sauce visually. Merry-Go-Round has arguably the song that fits the show the best, with the chanting of whoa, whoa, it's alright, everything will be alright. Peace Sign is an opening where the characters are just stretching. I don't know, I just think that's pretty cool because, you know, like they're stretching for the tournament arc. And Odd Future is just straight gas. So all in all, My Hero Academia is a fully real-life story buried under a million different nitpicks of mine. It gives me that nostalgic, yeah bro, you can be the main character feeling when I need that in my life, and then immediately annoys me with its color grading, its tonal whiplash, and its production choices throughout the course of the series. It has a gigantic, fascinating world, one of the best villain groups in anime, and has surprisingly well thought out take on hero society and responsibility, despite it not fully exploring it the way I would have liked it. It's an adaptation that often feels rushed sanitized and a little scared of its own material. And at its worst, it's a little bit redundant, it's a little bit overlong, and weirdly childish for the story it's telling. And at its best, it's one of the most interesting superhero stories ever told. Don't ever put that on me that I don't like this show. Every video I make is probably going to be a very, very nuanced opinion if I like the show enough. I will tell you before a video starts if my ass is very biased about the show that I'm talking about. It's very human of me to do it. Nothing about the story ruined My Hero Academia for me. It was everything around the anime per se. And notice how I never talked about the My Hero Academia community.
What the fuck?
Because that's just one big rabbit hole I don't want to get into. So despite all of that, when Deku lands that last punch, when the dust finally settles, when you remember how far these kids came and what is somehow only one school year, it still kinda hits. And it genuinely made me feel the same way Naruto's ending did in a way. It was like the closing of a chapter, the same way a whole literal era of modern anime closing hits. This is a classic through and through. So no, My Hero Academia is not perfect. It's messy, rushed, censored, inconsistent, but it is also heartfelt, very ambitious, and weirdly personal. And about 10 years from now, I'm probably gonna have to argue on Twitter, reminding people just how much of a fucking classic this show was.
Did you tell me this was over?